is Misty. I'll put the cards down. And Leela, can you just spotlight Misty's phone?
Mishti's phone, huh? Okay. 1 minute. Where is Mishti? I'm not able to see Mishti. Yes. Yes, Pranav.
Leela, kitchen.
So what I'm doing, I'm just spreading cards. And now I'll need one volunteer whose video is off.
Okay, I'll off my video.
Okay. So, okay, Avni, you can do it, right? It's fine. So what you need to do is, you need to choose any one card. Don't let me know. Don't let me know, okay?
Okay.
Misty, just keep the phone properly. See, all cards are not received. Yeah. So, and just hold tight. Yeah. So, can you see all the 4 decks, Avni?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So, you have to choose one card and just keep it to yourself. Don't tell me, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I chose. Yeah, I chose.
Chose. Okay, cool. So now I'll just ask you whether it's in deck A, B, C, or D. So just
which is A?
I'll tell you. So this is A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
So you can just tell me A,
No.
B,
No.
C,
No.
D.
Yes.
It's in D, is it?
Yeah, it's in D.
Okay, cool. Just now. You have not told me the card. You just told me the deck. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just mixing the cards.
Okay.
And of course, you have not told me. We have not met before this, discussing this trick. And there is nothing going between you and me. I have not promised you any chocolates, nothing, right? Okay. This is pure magic that we are doing, Avni, right? There is no.
Okay.
We are not teaming up or nothing, right?
Cool. Yeah.
So now I'll again ask you. It's in which deck? So this is A, B, C, and D. So again, can you tell me A?
No.
B?
No.
C?
No.
D?
Yes.
It's here, okay? Fine. So I'll just mix the card. You have yet not told, and if the rest of you are seeing this magic, Avni has not told me the card. She has just told me the deck in which the card is. So now my job is to identify which is Avni's card, and this magic is something which I have been, been my interest since childhood. Okay. And this was one of the very first trick I learned. Okay. And I think most of us should learn some or the other magic. So now what I'll do is, I'll just put the cards ulta. So none of us are now seeing which is what card, okay? Okay, Avni. Now what you need to do is, you need to tell me, I'll just put my hand on any deck. You have to tell me remove that deck, okay? So 2 decks will remove. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So any two you can ask me to remove. Or you can just tell me any 2 decks.
Okay, 1 and 3.
Okay, this and this. So I'm just removing this. Now I'll anyone. So it's not about removing. You just have to tell me which deck you want me to choose. This or this.
The upper one, yeah.
Upper one, yeah. This one, I'll remove this. Okay, fine. Now, any 2 cards. Just let me know which 2 cards you want me to pick. 1, 2. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, 1 and 4.
1 and 4. Cool. And now any one of these 2. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
I think I'll choose 1.
1, okay. So I'll remove this. So Avni, is there anything particular that you like about color red?
No.
Okay. Anything about diamonds that you love?
Diamonds. I like the real diamonds, not the card diamonds.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. And probably you love king. Maybe you think yourself to be a queen, so maybe you like a king. Is this your card?
Oh shoot! Great, nice, correct. How did you do that?
That's what magic is all about. So
Ah.
only the children in the age less than 10 can learn magic. After that, life becomes boring.
Okay, I am
Hey,
9 years.
I want to learn at 40, yeah, Pranav. Now I'm interested.
No, so I didn't mean by age. It's like at heart you have to be at like really young.
No. Pranav, when
So
did you learn?
I
Yeah,
learned when I
okay.
was 8.
Okay,
So
great.
we can remove
How
mistakes
did
for
you?
that.
Pranav,
No,
Pranav,
it was
no
K.
telling lies. Pranav, no telling lies.
No. You can ask Avni. Avni, we didn't team up, right?
No.
Just
No,
because you came from Bangalore to my house, it doesn't
yes,
mean we
yes,
are
yes.
like.
Okay, Pranav. Okay,
You
Pranav.
never showed me this trick, so I don't know.
Okay, Pranav. Let's move on to today's
Yes.
Jaatre. Thank you for this quick magic, Pranav.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it is the rain time where most of us are pouring some questions. So we can hear to these questions and then we can see how you would like to answer. So anyone has some questions to ask, just share on either on the mic or in the chat window. Let us collect all questions and then Jayashree and Pranav can start sharing their journey.
How did you learn this magic trick?
Okay, not answering Pranav. Let's collect all the questions. Yeah.
So maybe meanwhile we can start with our journey. It might take 5 minutes for each of us or 10 minutes.
No. Then I have some questions for you guys in the chat window. Anuj was asking, what were you afraid of as a child? What did you do about it? Is there a fear from childhood that you still hold? I mean, in such situations, that's what Anuj has shared. What kind of child you were to your parents? This is for both. Most of the questions are for both of you. How did studying in school or college helped you in your career or life? What skills you picked from your friends or parents or teachers?
Right, those are too many questions at one shot.
How did you learn this magic trick? Maybe I would like to ask both of you, how did you learn so many different things? What you do in your what you have learned? Many of your interest could be origami, Rubik's cube, could be magic tricks, could be music, mashup, what Pranav does, and playing so many board games, so many different things.
Okay, so I don't know what Jayashree auntie does.
Okay. Today, let us see. Jayashree, who wants to go first? Jayashree or Pranav?
Jayashree, please go ahead. Jayashree.
So, do I share what I'm up to these days? Shall we start with that and then go to the rain of questions?
Yes, sure. By then, if anyone has still some questions, you can still post it on the chat window. Yes, Jayashree, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So I had actually prepared a presentation. It's not a formal presentation, but still a presentation so that you guys can also see it and also listen to me meanwhile. I'll share from my computer. So I'm on 2 devices right now. So, okay. So today I would mainly deal with my journey in the world of origami. Origami is something which I learned probably like 2-3 years back. I don't even remember the word origami being taught to me when I was a child. All I knew was to make like ships and balls using paper. So that was the only thing we used to make with paper. And I never knew that it was called origami or anything of that sort. And I had never explored any art form or craft form as a child. As a child, I was always like more of a studious child who is always into studies all the time. So my parents also believe that I am like the rank holder of the house. So I will like I'll be the first rank holder or the second rank holder all the while. So they always thought that I'm the studious child, and I was always encouraged into studying all the time. So I never had the opportunity to explore any art and craft. And sports also, it was only while I was playing with my friends, which is like a free play. I never had any training in terms of sports. So both these areas is something which I felt I missed during my childhood. But to be very frank, I never thought I missed it when I was in my childhood. I thought I was born to study. I always felt that I am very good at studies, so I should focus only on studies. So I never bothered about it. It didn't click me that I did not explore so many other things in my life. Not even one time in my school days, I don't remember thinking that I had missed exploring art and craft or sports or theater. I never participated in much of extracurricular activities and all those stuff as a school going child. It all came much later in my life. So even in college, because I was in hostel, away from parents, probably I had more time to explore other fields. Even then, I did not get into the art and craft side. I was trying little bit of sports, and I was being more of a free child where I did not do much things in college, just making fun of everybody and having a very happy life. Because being in hostel, it is like I got all the freedom in my life, and so little bit of sports. And then only after marriage also, not much. I explored some games and all that, but nothing much. Then the life took some turns, and then I got a lot of free time. After I worked for some time, some 10 years, I was in software industry. Um, and then I worked for some time, and then, but I was not really glued into the software industry per se, but it was giving me a lot of money. And I was coming from a lower middle class family, so that money meant a lot to me and my family. So I was very happy making that money. And then when I quit the job, then I knew that I had a lot of time actually, which I can use for finding what is my passion, first of all, and then try something new. To be frank, I have not found my passion yet, though I call some of these as my interest as of now, but it keeps changing. Even Srishti and Shreys keep telling me that, Amma, you're always obsessed with something for a short period of time, and then you let go of it and then start with something else. And then you become obsessed with that for a period of time. So I start with one of my interests, I'll be on it all the while. And then after that, some 1 or 2 months, I will not even touch it. And then I'll go to my another field of interest. So like that, it keeps changing. But then the obsession is something that is always remaining with me forever. And the urge to learn new things is there with me forever. So about me, like, this is what I wanted to tell. I'm like a learner forever. Whatever is on coming to me, I'm trying to grasp it and learn it. And if it interests me, I dive deep into it. And then my interest, it keeps changing with various levels of obsession. Sometimes I'm completely obsessed, sometimes I just don't even touch it. So we will look into the interest part, and then the other things also we'll get in. How did it all start? Just like a small spark. So everything starts with a spark, and then if that spark has to glow into a fire, then it will build up into a big fireball. Otherwise, it will just get suppressed. So whichever spark has to shine will shine. And the inspiration, I have been inspired by many people of all ages from different places. So there is not one single, but still I have a huge list with respect to some of my interest areas. And what are the challenges faced? These are the challenges that helps me to lead to various opportunities. And the goals, I have them. It helps me to keep me going. But I'm not a very disciplined child in terms of following my goals and completely satisfying all my goals. I just keep trying. And I'm not very very strict with my goals. So I just let it go if I'm not able to do it. So this explains my interest. So what does it show?
You have made a Rubik's cube.
Yeah. So
does that really work?
No, it doesn't work. Yeah. It's a Rubik's cube. And what is the other field of interest that it shows?
Origami.
Origami. So I have combined both the interest in this particular picture. So I made this Rubik's cube, though it is from a YouTube tutorial, not my own design. But then this is what is my deep interest as of now. So I just want to show my collection of Rubik's cube, just to show how much of obsession I have with my cube. 1 second. I'll be on the other device. Is it showing?
What are you showing?
Yes, yes. Jayashree's phone.
We have to be on the other device, Jayashree mobile, Jayashree phone.
There are so
You need to
many.
stop sharing to see.
Oh, stop sharing, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The-
So this is my
There are
collection
so
of Rubik's
many.
Cube. So I have around 20 cubes right now, with varying difficulties and complexities. It all started with this simple 3x3 cube. And then it moved on and on and on. And I kept on adding. So whose birthday it is? My children's birthday, my husband's birthday, whatever. I'll find some reason. So now I have ordered one for Republic Day celebration. So any celebration or any event happens, I order a cube as of now. That's my obsession right now. Wherever I go, I carry a cube with me. My luggage is filled with cubes, or even when I go to drop Srishti in her class, I have a cube in my bag. So that's the kind of interest that I have. So some people call it obsession, but then I think it keeps me going and it keeps me interested in what I'm doing right now. So major interests I have are actually rooted from puzzles, math and geometry, logical thinking, and patterns. These are the main things actually, if you look at it. But all these things, I see there's a pattern in all of my interest areas. Like the puzzles, I solve like thousands and 2,000 pieces puzzle easily. I can sit on it for hours together and just complete it. Math and geometry, logical thinking patterns, all this have led to my interest in origami and Rubik's Cube. And photography has been my interest for quite some time. So these are my interest areas. Sometimes I try to integrate them and overlap them, and sometimes I just leave them. So how did it all start? My interest in puzzles was the starting point for my origami interest. So I will go deep into the origami part right now, not into the Rubik's Cube. So the puzzles, from there, I moved on to this type of origami where we have small pieces, just like Lego blocks. You make these small pieces with paper and then join them together to make a design. So it's just like making Lego blocks or building blocks or fixing a puzzle or beads. So all this is similar. Everything is all about patterns, how many you have to fix, where you have to fix. So this is where my interest in origami started. So to all, what is origami? Origami is basically making something with paper, and ideally does not involve cutting, pasting. So it is only a single sheet of paper that you use. You do not use anything else in origami. You do not cut it into shapes. You just take a single square sheet of paper or a rectangle sheet of paper and then do with it. So this was my first thing which showed me that I can do. Okay. So till then, I never knew as Jayashree, I have never done anything related to art or craft in my life. And this was probably the biggest thing I had ever done. So this is made up of around 650 pieces. And this was the one which showed me that even Jayashree is capable of doing something, is capable of creating something. I started with an origami, started this with a YouTube tutorial by following a YouTube tutorial. But then in the middle, I saw that the tutorial was not complete. So there were many things that were missing. So I could do only till half of this. The bottom half alone was there in the YouTube tutorial. The other things were not there. I was shocked. It was terror for me at that time. I had made all the 600 or 700 pieces ready, and it says that the video is incomplete. I was really like so angry with the creator also. Then I thought, okay, I'm not ready to waste all this effort that I put into making this. It takes hours to fold all these pieces. And that is the time I made the most of the other top pieces without a proper YouTube tutorial. There were some available in bits and pieces, but then this showed me that even I can do some art and craft kind of a work. So everything goes to this Ganesha Idol that I made. This is the first thing I made as a bigger project. And the other one was this. So this is basically, I call it a Corona Corona ball. So this is actually an interactive origami where you can make different, change it into different shapes. So this taught me that I can also be very patient. This took like nearly 4-5 hours to do it, and a lot of effort has gone into this. So even my mother was like, "How can you do with so much of patience?" And in between, it got torn, and I was not able to do. Then I had to keep it aside and then come back. So a lot of learning in terms of perseverance as well. So I do different types of origami, simple, intermediate, complex, and own designs as well. And there are different types of origami. So I do modular origami where it is like mostly you make origami with different modules. So there are 3 modules in this. So 3 modules put together, you have a modular origami. So you can have many number of modules. Like the Rubik's cube that I
Can you show
showed
that again? Couldn't see that.
This is a top.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The Rubik's cube that I showed earlier, that is also a modular origami. It is made up of 6 pieces. So when you have many pieces joined together, there's no glue or anything. It is just placed here. That's all. So this is called modular origami, where you have many pieces together. And I have also done interactive origami. So this is something that interests me. So you have a sheet of paper folded, and you can play with it. You can make different, you can make it into a ball, and then you can change it into a disc. When you make it into a disc, it forms a beautiful pattern. And again, you can make it into this thing. So they say paper has memory, and that is what we are using here. So whatever you do, paper has all those creases marked on it. All that is as a memory for that paper. So once that memory is marked in the paper, it will come back, bounce back to its initial position every single time. So this is called the interactive origami. And then 3D origami is the same as what I showed about the Ganesha. And then the traditional origami is something like this, where you use a single sheet of paper to make a model. So this is only with one sheet of paper. This has 2 colors. So that's why you are seeing the 2 colors. You fold in such a way that the neck is of one color, the body is of one color. So this is called the traditional origami. This does not involve any cutting, any pasting. It's only a one single sheet of paper which is used for this. And then we have tessellations, which are repeated patterns. I don't have a photo of this one here with me. And then origami designing is another field altogether. I'm a very young newbie in that. I'm just trying a little bit of it, not much into it. It involves a lot of practice with making models like what I'm doing right now. And then probably I will get into designing my own models. Leela, please let me know if we have time. Okay, so I'm not very sure about the timing. So please stop me if I'm getting overboard.
Yeah, you can take, you have more slides, Jayashree?
At least 4 more, mainly to show these specific things alone.
Okay. Yeah, you can quickly take 2-3 minutes.
Yeah,
then we will,
I'll try to do it quickly.
Yes.
So these are my inspiration. The first inspiration is my neighbor. So he is as old as Srishti. So he was the one who was always doing origami. In his iPad, he will see some YouTube video and keep making models. And he was my first inspiration, and I learned origami or got interest into origami because of him. And these are the other people in the origami world who have inspired me for various reasons. I just listed it here. If anybody is interested in origami or you want to learn more about it, I can also share these names so that these are one of the best in the world, or at least to me, they are like that. So I have been inspired a lot by these people. And the challenges faced, this is something I really wanted to share here. So getting good quality paper and the right type of paper is very difficult in India. You have to import it from Europe most of the times, and it comes with a lot of customs, and you have to pay a lot of tax and everything, and it's very expensive. And I am not ready to spend that much money for myself. Probably if it was for my children, I might have done it. I do not know. But to me, I felt it's just a hobby kind of a thing. I did not want to spend so much money on it. So what I ended up is making my own paper. So this paper I made with kite sheet, which you can get in Amazon, and with aluminum foil. So like that, most of the models that I'm making these days. So this one also is a paper I made with at home using kite paper and aluminum foil. So 2 kite papers and 1 aluminum foil. So most of my models I'm doing by making my own paper. So it gives me a lot of satisfaction in having done it. And it's really so cheap, just that I had to spend a lot of time in making. It doesn't even require a lot of time, but a little bit of patience in making the paper. And other things are just how to display, how to preserve. These are not huge challenges, but then this was my major challenge, to find the right paper. And these are the resources that I use. And just wanted to share what is my goal. So I want to fold more complex modules. Now I'm doing only complex modules most of the time, unless I have very short duration and I'm obsessed, I do simpler models. I have made a lot of flowers kind of thing. So I wanted to display it like an origami garden. And then every year for the Navaratri festival, we keep a golu. So last 2 years, I've been keeping origami golu. So this time I want to integrate with my Amma's quilling also. My mother is into quilling. So we want to integrate both origami and quilling. And a lot of origami pieces have been done at home. So I want to display them neatly at home. Maintain an origami blog. This I've been telling, and I really am lazy to do it. And I want somebody to collaborate with me on making stories by using my origami models, and they can use that for illustrations. I've been asking Krishti, you can make some stories. We can even publish it on, say, the Pratham books kind of things. For young kids, we can make some small stories using these origami models, because I also like photography. So I want to integrate my origami and photography, but I'm not interested in writing stories. I just cannot write stories. I am not having that inclination to do it. If somebody is interested, I would be very happy to share.
I'm interested. You can
Lovely.
You can keep making things and I can keep writing stories.
Nice. And I wanted to integrate my interest in geometry and origami. We had earlier done a mathogami session in Mathology Club. I want to extend it further. I want to make a complete course material and conduct a workshop on how to do geometry through origami. And I want to create my own models. So these are the things. The other things are only display of my models, which I can share in Discord later.
Yes. And also the inspired people also, you can just share it on Discord.
Yeah, I'll share the PPT itself.
Yeah, sure. Yes, over to Pranav.
So I don't have any presentation. I'll just be talking because one of my trait is I'm lazy. So thing is, I'll just kind of brief my journey in terms of my life journey. So and it will be more career driven. I won't get into too much of personal stuff. So it's been 17 years of working journey, or you can say career, or whatever the term that you want to describe. And in this 17 years, I have worn different hats. So in a way, I have been a banker. I have me and Preeti we have set up a fast food and ice cream parlor set up in Pune. Then we have been into early child education, wherein we have been into storytelling, working with children from 2.5 years to 7 years. And presently that I'm doing is I'm doing into supply of chemicals. So all 4 of this, if you see, they are like kind of mutually exclusive, nothing in a way correlated. There is no hands touching anything. So that's been the journey. Some of it was circumstances, some of this was choices. So that's how the life has been. And if I just add 3 years of my articleship or internship, as you must be knowing it, there is another. I have worked with a CA firm for 2.5 years. So that's been my journey. So now just to start in terms of career, so banking. So to start with banking, my journey started as a child. Where I started as to think about how do I move on in my career. So owing to the circumstances, again I would say at that time somewhere around 8th or 9th. So just to put it in the open learning perspective, in the age of around 14-15, I chose to pursue the commerce stream. So if typically you go into this education thing, there is commerce, arts and science. There are 3 faculties from which you choose your career. That's how it is for a conventional schooling system, how it is. So for me, arts was, it's not that I didn't like arts, but I was not inclined in arts. Science I loved, but I didn't know what could I do much. And coming from Gujarati household and a bit of that, commerce seemed like a natural choice in a way. So that was my beginning. So again, in commerce, then there was a thought, okay, we'll do CA. So CA, again, why CA particularly? Because CA I felt was a very cheaper education option. Like when you say MBA or any other thing, you have to go to a big college or something like that, and there are huge amount of fees and things to be done. CA is very cheap. मतलब उसमें खाली simple छोटा सा amount fees भरो, and then you do your articleship and you just invest your time, and there is hard work. Definitely there is hard work, but there is not too much of money involved. So that CA was how the thing came transpired. So that was around 9th, 10th. By that time, CA was something which was stuck into my mind. So after that, I joined the junior college. Junior college was largely, junior college again here, I'll just explain, it is 11th and 12th. So after you clear your 10th, you enter junior college, that is 11th and 12th. This is how it is in Maharashtra, I can say. So there it was more of fun, chilling, this, that. But then again, CA was always there in the back of the mind. And then that is what I wanted to pursue as a career. But still I didn't know what will I do, like once being a CA, because CA by itself is a very broad spectrum of things that you can
What
do.
is
There are many.
CA?
Chartered accountant. Okay, sorry for my mistake. So it's, there is a very broad spectrum in CA. So you can get into costing, you can get into taxation. So these are the terms I'm using. Maybe you'll not understand. If you want, you can ask me later. There is audit, or you can get into industry. So when I say you can get into industry, means you can get into some corporate work, not following any of those standard CA things. So again, I did my foundation. So there were two ways of doing chartered accountancy then. One was after your graduation, that is after your 15th. I'm using this very loosely, 15th. So 12th ke baad 13th, 14th and 15th. At 15th you finish your graduation and you can pursue your CA. So there is inter and final. But there was also an option wherein you can simultaneously with your college give a foundation exam, clear that, and start with your articleship and start the CA journey there itself. So by the time you finish your graduation in a year or year and a half, you can also finish your CA. So it saves on about couple of years. So there was nothing much to do in life at that time in college. So thought, why not just go with this route of foundation route and start working. So again, these are all circumstances driven. This is all very situation driven. Lot of expectations were there as a family and all. So I chose that, and then I cleared my foundation in the second attempt, and I didn't want to do it in first, but yeah, second. And then I started with articleship. So when I say articleship, it is where you start working with a CA firm, a chartered accountancy firm, where you learn what a chartered accountant does. So basic things like auditing, taxation, that is all being taught to you, not in a very deeper level. It is up to the firm and it's up to the interest that you have, but again, so that's how it starts. So that's what we did, and we were three of us. There were three friends, so there were like a couple of more friends, and hum tino ek hi firm mein we joined. So we were called Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. So we were like all over that firm. Like they used to call us Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, and we had that a common union amongst ourselves, and that's how it was. It was a very happy journey in a way. It was never like those stressful journey of doing something, nothing of that sort. It was very happy journey. Visiting. So when you do audits, you visit to different places, you see different businesses, you learn, you talk to people. So your interactions, you're interacting with people, being out in the space of business is there. So you understand businesses, you in whatever limited manner at that age, but you at least get that exposure. So that's what we got. And so after doing that, I realized that whatever I do, but I don't want to be in a typical CA firm. So there are even like top big CA firms, which are like real multinational big firms, but still don't want to do that audit thing or taxation thing. I want to work in a corporate. So where I want to work in some corporate, which could be anything. It could be a FMCG, like some industry about say IT, or it could be banking, or it could be something else, but I will not do this audit stuff or taxation. This is not what drives me. So then from there on, luckily, after finishing my 2 years of articleship, I happened to get an internship, 1 year of internship in Citibank. So Citibank is a multinational for those who don't know, and it's a very big bank globally. and I got to work in Citibank, and where I was placed, it was a very top tier, a place where all the big shots of Citibank used to sit. So I learned what banking is about, and it fascinated me. So from there, my love for banking started. And then I thought, okay, now whatever I do, and then again, in articleship, I was paid around maybe 1,000 rupees per month. In Citibank, my stipend was 10,000 rupees. So that again was very attractive. Oh wow, this much money, what paisa hai. So that was one thing, and money was needed. So that's where again the banking thing kind of fascinated. And this is very honestly, I'm just saying, so money is important, and it was probably important at that point in time.
Maybe would you
Even
like to share what you enjoyed in banking, like as a career? What is that it was driving you?
Yeah, I'll come to that, Leela. So basically, when I learned about banking, so again I realized I don't like the back end of banking, like back end processes or mid office where you do just are there on a desk job kind of a thing. No, I wanted to interact with people. So I wanted to be out talking to business people, understanding lending. So lending is one aspect in banking where you lend to people, where you give loans, disburse money, and that is why. And then when you do this, people open up to you and they share their journeys, like where I'm sharing my journey, somebody would be sharing their journey to me, or somebody like Jayashree would be sharing their origami journey to me if she has to get some bank finance. So that's what fascinated again to me. So, wow, I get to know so much about different people and their journeys, and I loved that. And again, getting that finance and internally fighting with the system to get that funds for the client, that was all very appealing and challenging, and that was very interesting for me. So I loved that. So that is the part which I wanted to be into banking. So then after clearing my chartered accountancy, luckily in first attempt, I sorry, second, I then and joined Standard Chartered Bank, and that was sometime in 2003 end, and officially on the rolls of Standard Chartered Bank in 2004. So from 2004 to 2008, I was in Standard Chartered Bank, where I met my beautiful wife Preeti.
Pranav, you need to make little short,
Yeah.
5 minutes, so that
Yeah,
then we
yeah.
can go into the question.
I'll quickly. So then from there on into banking, so there was in proper banking. Then I scaled some career ladder is in terms of a junior person to a relationship manager. Then we moved to Dubai. There again I was in a bank for 3 years. Me and Preeti. From there when we felt that we have accomplished something which is like fulfilling enough, then we thought we want to do something of our own. And that's when this idea of fast food and ice cream parlor struck. So that's when we came back to India, and we moved our base to. So we are typically from Mumbai, but we moved our base to Pune, and that's where we started ice cream parlor and fast food joint. And again, we learned the trait of what is fast food, how do we make. We sought help of someone, and again we took a franchisee of Have More Ice Creams. Have More Ice Creams are good ice creams. If you get it in your region, please do eat them. They've got wonderful flavors, and it is an ice cream, not a frozen dessert. So that is that. Then after that, again, I after that we conceived Misty, so we decided to kind of sell that business, and I took a sabbatical. So again, in this 17 years of journey, I have taken a lot of breaks. Sabbatical, when I say sabbatical, it's like doing nothing as in just living life and spending time with whatever family and those moments. So that 1 year of pregnancy, or say 9 months of pregnancy, we had a very good time, as a family, me, Preeti, and we spent a lot of time with friends. And it was the best time of our lives. And then the Misty was there, and then again I joined a bank, Yes Bank, and Yes Bank going down has nothing to do with me because I left it 2016 December. So Yes Bank is in bad shape, but then again it has nothing to do with me. Uh, uh, so after that, again because of certain reasons, I had to leave banking in December 16, and from there since we used to work with Misty a lot in terms of upbringing as a parent, we realized there is an opportunity here in this space wherein we can work with other children as well. And that's where we developed this storytelling content, wherein it was a very unique sort of a content as what we feel and even the parents felt. And we worked with several children. I think we would have worked with more than 2,000 children. I don't know the right number. And we worked with all the top pre-primary schools in our belt. Wherever we went, there were like top pre-primary schools, and we used to conduct these sessions. And it was very satisfying, very fulfilling, creatively satisfying. Working with children was a different experience altogether. So that was a wonderful time. But then this COVID struck, and because of the COVID thing, again we had to kind of put a pause to it. We were considering whether to go online or to go online. we did a bit online too. And while doing that online part, so in our storytelling, there was a part where we used to do theater. So any story we pick, say we pick a Julia Donaldson story or we pick a Panchtantra story, we will do a theater of it. So that theater was not possible online because it required too much of a bit of gadgets and those things, and we were not ready for that. So we started shooting those stories, pre-shoot the stories and upload it on YouTube and then share those links, and so that during our session. That's where our shooting thing came in, and that's where I started learning about video editing. How do you do video editing? So that's where I had no clue what is video editing. People told me, Pranav, ye kar lo, acha lagega. So then I started merging, things, overlapping things, adding music. So very, very basic, amateur video editing I started, and I'm still think I'm very, very basic at that. So that's what I did. But again, after a while, we felt this online thing is not working for us. It's a toll on children. So we decided, let's stop this. And I moved on with my friend into supply of chemicals. And supply of chemicals, again, we cater this, there are certain chemicals which are imported or which are, locally manufactured, and we supply to the end use industries where it is consumed for certain processes. So that's what it is. This is what my journey is all about. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Pranav, for sharing your journey. I saw that you have been shifting from such a different backgrounds and banking to storytelling to working with children to chemicals. It is such wide, different fields you have been touching and learning different things on the go to keep your career moving on. That was good strength, which I have been trying to understand from you. Yeah. Now let's move on to the rain of questions. Should we start from the backwards?
Whatever.
Yeah. Avani is asking, what is the magic? What is magic for you? It is beyond such tricks. Sorry, it's Anuj.
What is magic? Sorry, I didn't get that. Should I read it?
What is magic for you? And I'm sure it's beyond these tricks.
So magic is very fascinating. So I think it keeps you excited. It keeps you alive because at times we start believing we know everything. So magic is something which keeps you excited about. There are things probably which we don't know. Of course, magic is largely some science or it's some sort of a trickery that we all know. But it keeps that innocent, a curiosity going on in you. As to like when you see something, you feel, yaar, ye kaise kiya hoga? So that occupies you and that takes you to a new journey. So that's what it is. So magic is something, and always you can do some magic. So basically, even when the science experiments we used to do with children, we used to add some story to it. So we would not just simply say a science experiment, we would just add some narrative to it in a very different way. So idea was not to teach science. Idea was to have that narrative and people will experience something. So it was to create that experience. So that is the idea, my philosophy about doing things. So similarly with magic. So magic, again, I can create a narrative around the magic and engage with people, talk with people. That's what magic is for me. So.
Awesome. Maybe I just expand the question to Jayashree. Maybe origami is just beyond folding for you. You just want to share 1 or 2 lines about it.
Origami is definitely beyond folding. It is even beyond creation. So origami is not just creating something out of paper, but to me it is like a magic. How can just a sheet of paper bring so many things in it? And the paper is really very forgiving. You do something wrong, it actually is okay. You will not feel very bad when you do something wrong when you're working with a paper. Probably if you're doing some other artwork, you might get like, I wasted it. Now you don't have that fear and you will be ready to explore lots more. So I felt that it is very encouraging for a person who is very new to any kind of art and craft to start with origami, because it is something which allows you to explore a lot without a lot of negative feedback coming to you. I felt it was always calming and meditative to do origami. That is another thing that I always felt about.
Oh, that's an amazing
Even when I fold paper, there's something I always tell. When I fold the paper, the sound that the paper fold makes, right? So it is like music. It is such a beautiful thing. Even in the YouTube videos, I just keep the video unmuted because the folds will make that nice crispy sound. It is so nice to hear when you do that.
Nice,
And
nice.
just to add, anything around us is magic. So when we put a seed into the ground and it turns into a plant, and then you have flowers and fruit, there is something which nature is doing, and which is, of course, science has explained few things, but there are a lot of things which are yet beyond our comprehension. So if we see it with that, magical innocence, it makes it more exciting rather than it becomes, otherwise it becomes too dull. It's like 1+1 is 2 kind of thing. So you don't want to make it dull. You want to make it more exciting. A baby coming out from mother's womb, it's magic. And like, in a way, it's magic for me. Or as we are growing, whatever. Yeah.
I think it's Akila sharing that the magic was in your journey. That is what for Pranav, Sakila is telling. Yeah.
Pranav uncle, can you make a session or a workshop about magic, please? I want to learn.
One more option. There are 2 collaborations happening. One is with Pranav Uncle workshop for magic tricks, and storytelling for collaboration with Jayashree for her origami models. Yeah, yes, a lot of opportunities, what I can see. And I'll move on to the next question. Like, as a child, this can be both for both of you. Like, as a child, were you afraid of? Is there a fear from childhood you still hold? What were you afraid of as a child?
Okay, to me, as a child, and even now I'm a child, so still I carry it with me. So what I carry with me as a fear is to ask questions, is to give suggestions. So as a child, I was always treated as one of the intelligent kid at school. So if I had to ask a question, it meant that I didn't know something. So I always had the fear of asking questions because somebody will think that I do not know something. Even though she's studious, she doesn't know something. So I did not want that. So that judgmental was something which was stopping me from asking questions and even to give suggestions. What if they don't take my suggestion? What if they do not like my suggestion? So anything which would be rejected was a fear for me. So I never opened my mouth to give any suggestions or to ask any questions. And I still carry it with me. Even today, before today's Jaatre, it was a hard time for me to get ready and come in front of the computer. But then I told to myself, we are not in front of judgmental people. And I am much more aware of what I'm doing and to whom I'm talking to. So I had to do that self-affirmation to myself even before I had to come here. Otherwise, it will start grumbling like anything. Before I start any question, my stomach could start giving me signals that I am not comfortable in this place. But today I felt that till that 12 o'clock or 11:55, I had it. Still, I carry that fear with me. That is the reality. But then I am able to let go of it because of my awareness towards it now.
Awesome, amazing. You're sharing it openly, Jayashree. That is so nice.
So talking about my fear, so at the time when I was in 5th standard, which was around 10 years, my parents separated, and it was a very big shock for me because I was never prepared for that thing, because I never knew even like something of that sort is happening or brewing. So that took a lot of toll on me in terms of emotional thing, and I sort of feared then, okay, how will society accept me, or what happens in terms of my friends, my relatives, my family. But over the period of time, I think I overcame that part, because it was nobody's fault per se. It is not right, wrong, or it's a choice of life. So basically, I overcame that thing, and I made a very strong bond with families, friends, and everybody. And I saw everybody was so welcoming, and there is no such space or any judgment coming from anyone. And it was my fear which was kind of driving me down. So that was like initial couple of years were tough for me, but I think after that it went well, because I acknowledged, accepted it, and then I moved on with my life. And then people have been wonderful with that. And yeah, and post that everything has been fine. Like with both my parents, I'm doing good, and I'm having a happy relationship with all across the family members, and it's been a very pleasant journey. So that's never been a roadblock or anything in terms of a hurdle or an obstacle in my life ever. And in fact, it's made me emotionally more stronger and more resilient. So that's what I would say. So I don't carry any fear per se as of now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, could be what kind of child you were to your parents, both of you?
To me, to my parents, I was a very obedient child, a disciplined child, and naughty at the same time. Naughty as mischievous. So any mischief that goes in the house, they know for sure that it's because of me and not because of my elder sister. Anything that happens, most of the time, the fights, everything, the trigger is me. But then she gets all the scoldings because I put it very neatly as if she did everything. So I always get the very good image from my parents. And to my relatives, it is like she's always studious because I never used to come out of my house, of my room when relatives were there. So my mama used to say that she's studying for her exam. So they always thought that I'm very studious. So that's the thing that I had actually created as an image in front of my parents and relatives. And to escape from talking with relatives actually. So that was my escape mechanism because I did not want to go and talk to people. Even now, I'm not very social. So social as in I don't want to go talk to every single person out there. So I speak to a very limited set of friends. Even in college, though in hostel, I had a very limited, I can count the number of people with whom I can talk to openly. So I use that as an escape mechanism in my childhood as well.
Do your parents know this now?
Yeah. They know it for sure. They tell she's very reserved. So it's
She's very what? She's very
I'm
what?
very reserved person. I'm very reserved. I don't talk to people a lot like that.
Okay.
Introvert. So those are the things. Yeah.
Yeah. Pranav?
I am completely opposite to what Jayashree probably is. So I'm very social. I just tend to go out, talk to people. Raste pe koi chal raha hai, I can even talk to that person. It doesn't stop me. Yeah, and as a child, yeah, of course I was a mischievous. I won't mischievous, naughty, but in a good way. Not like ganda wala masti kiya या something. किसी का कांच तोड़ के घर पे आ गया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया था. Innocent fun
English
masti.
translation, what did you say?
Oh, sorry. I would not break somebody's, window panes or, kisi ka, I would ring a bell on somebody's house and run away. Not that kind of masti. So that was never sort of masti that I did in my childhood. Even in school, I was like one of those, naughty but studious children. Like I used to rank well in class, but I was naughty also in a way. I would keep probing teachers. I would used to keep asking questions. At times, teacher used to get bored. Kitna puchta hai? Like he's asking so many questions. So and because of my being one of those, the person who would trigger things, teacher would make me monitor in the class. Okay, at least make him monitor or make him prefect, so that at least somebody will not do masti in the class. That was the idea. So that's how I was a class monitor. I don't know if the other children will understand this. There is a monitor in the class.
Class leader kind of a thing.
Yeah, class leader.
Yeah, I was also leader.
Yeah, somebody is doing masti, you make him the leader, so that nobody will do masti because he is the one who has to stop others doing masti. So that's how it works. So this was the politics that they used to do with me. So yeah, so as a child, fun, and as a house, we had a very healthy atmosphere. My mom is more towards music, reading, that kind of stuff. My father is more towards rational things. He would take one potato and one onion and tell me this is sun, this is earth, and he'll explain me this is how earth revolves around sun, and he'll do. So he came from very rational logical thing, and the mom came from very music and that kind of thing. I had a very nice mixed kind of upbringing, so it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. We like
Leela, I want to ask one.
yeah, sure, Anjali.
Yeah, so Pranav, when you have shared about the shifting from the CA to the storytelling, so how was that shift to you? From meeting your people and then coming with the children.
So
That shift. How was your journey during that shift?
yeah, Anjali. So it was not basically CA to student, basically banking to
Banking too.
because I never identify myself to be a CA. I never carry that tag along with me. CA was something which I just passed. I used that exams to clear or probably enter into bank. That's it, finished, done. Just it ends there. So I never carry that tag of CA with me. So that's one. But yeah, that journey of from banking to storytelling. So again, I'm saying at that time, Misty was around, I think, 4-ish. Preeti, please correct me if I'm wrong. around 4ish. And we used to, as a parent, we used to spend a lot of time, and even I used to spend a lot of time explaining her things, reading stories to her, demonstrating things, explaining. So idea is, say when you say a story, I'll just take 1 minute. So when you say a story about some donkey falling into water, and wherein the salt gets mixed into water, and the bag becomes lighter, and suddenly then the master puts cotton into the bag, and the bag becomes heavier. So now this as a story we all listen. I hope some of us would have be aware of this story. So but as a child, you like the story, but you don't get the concept. What is the idea behind this? Like kaise salt gaya pani mein aur halka ho gaya bag. So that is what we simply just do. We take a pouch, fill it with salt, put it in the glass of water, and we show the children, see dekho halka ho gaya. And then the same time we take cotton, put it in a pouch, put it in the glass of water, and see now that it is heavy. So then it basically also works as a concept. Okay, this is what happens. Absorption is happening, dissolving, something is dissolving in water. So idea is not to teach science, but just make clear about the story per se. So that's what we used to do with Misty a lot, as a parent. But then when we saw, and Preeti was already into that space where she used to do some small workshops with children since she was at home. So she would do some small workshops, and then we realized there is a space where we can work this. So it was again a difficult journey shift for me, because when you are performing against children, and typically there are very less males into this particular setup. When you say about education in especially pre-primary area, there is you don't see many males into that space. It's all women around you. In a way, it's good for me. But then uh, 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 but there were very less males. And even say if you do birthday party, and there are families who are there and you are doing it. So somewhere it kind of, I'm not saying it's a male ego thing, but since I have never done it before, I had to shed certain kind of my inhibition, like in terms of how can I do it in front of all of them. So that was a difficult part for me. But yeah, that developing that content. So me and Preeti would talk. Preeti would give her feedback that this is how it works for children, and this is what we should not keep it too dry. So and so we had developed that content in such a way that it was very lively, and it was not dry, and it was constantly shifting, moving, and then we got used to it. And once we did it at one place, replicating it was not tough. So today we have a bag of 60 stories ready with 60 different concepts, and yeah, and we have got different activities for each stories. So it's all there and it's ready now. All I need to do is replicate it. So that's it. So I hope I have answered your question, or no, I don't know.
Yeah, you answer. Thank you.
You answered, and Jayashree, you know whom to catch for your stories of your models also, right?
We have a characters and we have a storyteller.
Yeah. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. If
And
anyone...
also a story writer we have.
Yeah, story writer. Yeah. We have also many designers coming up for designing your showcase for your models too, or origami models. Yeah. Yes. Any last question anyone wants to ask? Yeah. Maybe I'll just go. What skills you picked from your friends, parents, or teachers?
I think being fearless is a thing which has come from both my parents. They have shown me that thing in their lives, the way they have lived their lives, and so that is one thing which I've learned from parents, and doing things happily, like not coming from a space of judgment and all. So that's what also comes somewhere there, and along with friends, what I won't say I learned from friends, but what I could share with friends was humor. So humor is something is very important for me. Able to talk freely and making jokes and not hurting someone, but just having that innocent humor going on. So that space was given by my friends most of the times, and so that encouraged me to be more lighthearted person, and which helped me as a person emotionally, because I was also going through certain challenges in my life. So I could express myself in a lighter fashion through humor, and I could take my life in a humoristic way. So that's what I think I would credit my friends with, and of course they have been very supportive. So that's That's it.
So for me, from my parents, from my mom, it's mainly the patience and the perseverance with which she does. So she also is into puzzles and then quilling. So all the things which takes a lot of effort and patience, and it takes a lot of time in doing things. And that is one major thing that I picked up from her. And from my father, how to do things meticulously. And I have never seen him scold anybody. I have never seen him shout at anybody. Always it is respect or it is love. Always it is filled with love. You don't have to ask him for any help. He will be right there to help you. So if my mom washes the dishes, he will go wipe them and keep them. So that is the kind of thing he does. He never thinks about what I should do or what I should not do. He does anything and everything. So there's lots to learn from my parents. So and friends, it is to be lively and they're always there for you. So that thought that friends are always there. Anything you know you want, there is somebody to whom you can go and talk to. So that is something we always treasure from friends and having a lively time. With teachers, I'm not very sure what skills I have learned, but there will be definitely many. There are many different types of teachers from whom we have learned many different things. So I vividly remember my LKG teacher, how patient she was with me. Even though I did I remember like I did something very bad and they tied me to a pole in the classroom or something like that. I'm not sure whether it was me or my friend, but then it never went to my as a complaint to my parents. So that was something I liked about it. Or there were some teachers who used bad, like negative feedback to me, which made me stop doing something. So I thought that I should never be like that. So there are some teachers from whom I thought I should never tell something so negative, that too to a child, because it becomes like a big engraving into their heart. So which you can never change. So I remember some incidents which had changed my interest forever. So which I thought I should never do to somebody, anybody for that matter.
I would like to add one category, spouse also. So from Preeti, I have learned to be organized, in a way, extend discipline, not to the her level, but whatever little I've tried. And she is a very good planner. She is very focused. So she like I'm not. I was like happy-go-lucky types. कि ठीक है होता है करेंगे, जो हो रहा है हो रहा है. But she is very meticulous. She is very particular. She plans things and she has like she would chart out the whole life on Excel. This is how things have to be. So she's very meticulous in that way. I'm not saying in a wrong way. I'm saying the right way, good way.
Mishti, collar up. Oh, yeah, sorry, Preeti, collar up.
That is what I have kind of learned from her in terms of getting a bit organized, getting that's what I can say. Yeah.
Jayashree, you want to add?
Okay. So from my husband, I have not picked up the skill, but I can appreciate it. So I cannot change myself because he is good at it. But then I am so for him it is like anything that happens around, they have separate compartments in his brain. So for example, his office work is a separate compartment, house personal issues separate, children issues separate, or anything fun is separate. Nothing gets intermingled. So everything is separate. For me, everything is like one khichdi only. So all together always. So all the things get interconnected. So for him, it is very easy to be calm. When there is any, I have never seen him tense or being anxious about anything. He can deal with any number of issues. You keep blasting him with issues. He will be there to solve them, or if not solve, he will be still calm. He will not get burnt out because of those issues. And he is one person who you can always trust, wherein you ask for a help or you don't ask, you just think that you need a help, he will be right there for anybody and everybody. So that is one thing I wanted to learn from him, but it is something ingrained. It is not so easy to build it. So probably one day I'll get that little by little, maybe. I never know.
Awesome. Beautiful to connect and talk to you both. It looks like as if we can talk more and more. Thank you for sharing your journey and spending time with us, Jayashree and Pranav. It is wonderful talking to you guys and to know so much about your journey. And that was amazing for me. Yeah, anyone wants to share something to?
Yeah, And Pranav uncle, please.
Workshop.
Yeah, workshop. At least 1 hour you have to keep. That's a minimal time for you.
I will
Okay.
see.
Ask for a demand, people. You can demand from Jayashree auntie also.
Yeah, Jayashree auntie, you also have to keep a workshop. Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah. So plan Pranav and Jayashree accordingly. Yes.
Jayashree, I'm also looking forward to that workshop wherein you integrate origami with geometry. Because in math,
yes.
geometry was my favorite stream. Most favorite. I
It's a
love
huge
statistics
work
and
as
geometry.
such. If I think about it, I don't even know what all will get as a content. So that itself is a major work. So I have to start thinking on what all I should get into as a content and how to integrate it with origami. So it would be of great help if anybody joins into that project.
I can join in.
Yeah. We can probably have that as another project going on. Here.
Okay. Chalo then. Bye-bye. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.